I know what I'm doing. Hello, people. It's your Usmaan back again with another fancy football podcast. As always, I'm joined by Rob, Joe, and Kojo. How are you, boys?
Unreal. Good, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. It's a nice change from the usual, we're not saying it, but it's the usual nonsense, should we say. Anyways, as always, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Challenge? I said challenge twice today, by the way. Channel. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know where I've got challenge from. But nevertheless, let's get on to the show. As always, we're going to be discussing what we did well, what we did bad. Obviously, Was is in here, so he had a long list of what he did bad.
everything. Never done it.
God, he's starting to improve though. He did well last week. He got like 20 points, but no, I'm joking aside. So we're gonna go through our teams. We're gonna suggest who we think will be a good pick for this week's fixtures, and of course, who we've got in our team regarding captains. Joe, we shall start with you as you missed last week. How have you got on last week? Did you get anything that you think that you did well? What do you need to improve? That kind of thing.
Yeah, last week was my worst week. Unfortunately, I think I'm still ahead of Rob though, which is always great.
Everyone keeps having that the benchmark. Everyone's saying it.
Yeah. As long as I have that, life's good. Yeah, my mistake was last week who I captained, because I was going into because we had the Liverpool playing Arsenal, so I was afraid to captain anyone in that game because I didn't know who was going to have the Barnstormer. So I went with Son. I captained Son last week, and he absolutely fucked me. The absolute prick. He bent me over and did me. Like, he got
Okay, Joe, we don't need that much details.
Okay. I can go further. He got injured in the 46th minute. He didn't even get me 2 points. His captaincy got me 2 points. Him having him as captain because he went off before the 60th minute. But I would have done well other than that because Richarlison got a goal, Bamford got a goal. I brought him in.
Oh, you actually bought Bamford. Okay.
I bought Bamford, yeah. And yeah, across the midfield, I did well enough. Like, I had a good week, but then I would have had a better week if I stuck with, if I had Salah as captain or even Aubameyang, who was my usual captains. But Son just miserable as per usual.
Right, okay. I don't know how anyone can go after that, but Kojo, good luck, mate. So obviously he said quite a lot, some of which I'm not going to repeat for obvious reasons. Kojo, what were your thoughts on your team? How much points did you get on?
I got 40 points, but I can only blame myself. So when the season started, I made Vardy my striker. He did nothing against Burnley. Spurs obviously did their thing with Harry Kane, so I thought, let me put Harry Kane in last week instead. And when I take Harry Kane out, look who smacks a hat trick. I'm fuming. I'm fuming.
I had the week, my bro. I might have done you the week before. I think I've had the biggest man of the season is obviously me. But yeah, go on, continue.
Yes, it is you.
Please.
So I was angry, knowing full well that Vardy banged hat. I should be happy, obviously, that Man City are getting smacked. But I felt conflicted because I was so angry that I took him out. So my top player with points was Kane because I made him my captain. So he got me 10 points. Whoop de flipping do. Apart from that, I absolutely sucked. So I went out the top 4. I'm in 9th place now. I'm not happy, but I have to come back with a vengeance, man.
So basically, you're Arsenal.
Wow. Oh my God.
I can't comment. I'm Megan. I'm way back.
Damn.
I'm like in League One, I think. Rob, how did you get on, bro? How did your team do in terms of points? Obviously, anything that you think that you need to do better next week. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I scored par for me. So I got 45 points, which I'm right with. I always say 50 points is the benchmark every week. Don't look at what other people do. They're going to have hot weeks. They're going to have cold weeks. 45 to 50 points around that every week. You're good. You're going to be all right going forward. My team, in terms of what players are doing, my mistake this week was having Werner as my captain. So he got me a whopping 4 points altogether for his 2 points of actually turning up at the game. But for me, it's still my core of Mane and Salah. They're what my team is really based on. Havertz played as well. Across my midfield, Mane got 7 points, Salah 5, Havertz 5. So that's good. I like that. But in defence, I always have a couple of left field players in defence just to see whose teams play, the actual guys who were playing who are cheap. So Dunn at Burnley, who's going to be in one of my tips later. He only got 2 points, but he's starting every game. He's only £4 million. And I think he's going to start. He's going to start all the way for quite a bit for Burnley. And Mitchell as well was like 4 million at Palace. He only got 1 point last week, but I think he's got. Yeah, he's a differential. And Danny Ings got me 9 points, so I was happy with that. A couple of things I might want to tweak, but I am being patient, and I'm probably not going to make I'm not going to make a transfer this week.
You're not going to do an Usmaan. You're not going to do it.
No, I'm going to stick. I always stick because I've done it before where I've transfer heavy, and then I'll be like, Havertz got a hat trick. Oh, Salah got a hat trick. Oh, and it's just like, so I always try and stick with it and just change my bench maybe a little bit, switch it up a little bit. So I'm all right. I'm fifth in our league, and I'll start looking at the table in November or something.
Yeah, to be fair, being fifth in that league doesn't say a lot because the standard's dog shit at the moment.
Well, I want to win it, and
I'm like 25th in that dog shit standard, so it says a lot about me. So if you're happy watching the shows, for those that watch, I had an absolute mare. So as you know from last week, I pulled some back. I took -4 points, captured him. So go on, then, son. Go on, redeem yourself. Oh my God! So I sold him. He bags 4. I buy him back. He gets injured. You know what? To be fair, as a Man United fan, I'm not disappointed because he's injured for us. So I'll take it. I'll take it, Spurs fan. I'm cursing the Spurs for that. I've still got Kane on my team, so hopefully he has a mare because clearly at the moment whoever I've got is just not doing it. I was gonna sell Bruno Fernandes, but it came in clutch. I just love the fact that we've got extra time and then we've got after the game time. Getting those extra points for Bruno Fernandes on penalty, and he got an assist for doing absolutely shit all. Rashford dropped all the defenders. I'll put him to the top corner, and Bruno got credit for it. It was beautiful. So that was just amazing for me. I was over the moon. I was chuffed the fact that we absolutely robbed him, but I was even more chuffed the fact that I got extra points for absolutely nothing. So I have a Southampton defending. They got 6 points, which of course is Kyle Walker-Peters, 4.5 million, absolute bargain. And I also have the goalkeeper, which I'm assuming most of us have him or Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. The Brighton one is one of the either or, from what I've heard. Regarding strike, Calvert-Lewin, Kane, both contribute with 6 and 5. Timo Werner is the one I'm being patient with because I actually think he's going to come good. I've heard a lot of people being negative about him. I know he scored against Spurs, if I'm not mistaken, but I just feel like he's going to come good, and it's a matter of time. I'm not going to captain him, but I do think he's going to come good. But yeah, let's touch upon the dream team. Let's touch upon the dream team from last week. Joe, coming back to you, Vardy getting the most points.
Yeah.
What's happened here? I don't know what I've clicked on, but it's completely wrong. Oh, these are the totals. Sorry, apologies. I've clicked on the wrong thing. King of the game week was Jamie Vardy. Just while I'm getting that up, Joe, what are your thoughts? Is there anyone in the dream team that you're thinking about bringing in, or is that like Rob always says, you don't want to be too reactionary, so to speak?
No, I'm sticking with my team. I don't see myself changing too much. I made one transfer, which was I had Son, but he got injured in the game where I captained him. So I brought in typical. I brought in Havertz for him instead, and at I've a 0.5 million left over, so to deal with next week. We'll see what happens. But other than that, no, I'm not reacting to anything other than just keep going.
Rob, what are your thoughts? Obviously, I did actually mention Mahrez. I believe I mentioned Mahrez when we spoke about Manchester City players. Mahrez being the guy that I would go if I was to select a Man City player. I would go for Mahrez personally just because of his price, and he was the one that actually delivered. Got 12 points, a goal and an assist, although they lost, of course. But obviously, we don't give a damn if they're losing or not, as long as we get points off them. If anything, that's a bonus. They have got Leeds and Arsenal. Do you think Man City players, they seem to be the players that if they do well, they tend to always get double points. They don't seem to get a couple of points here. They always score big, don't they, Rob? What are your thoughts on Man City players? Do you think it's still early doors to bring anyone in, or do you think potentially we can get someone in?
Well, obviously, because they didn't play really in the opening game week, a lot of players still haven't got City players in their team yet.
Yeah,
but there's no doubt that they're the kind of the targets for when you're using your wild card. Yeah. I said last week that I generally use my wild card in about game week 6 around then because I kind of got the idea of who's doing what. And for me, obviously, because I've got my Liverpool players in there at the moment, 3 Liverpool players, it's the only reason why I haven't got any City players. So Mahrez is definitely one of those guys who scores every week. Even if he doesn't play, he'll come off the bench, he'll get you an assist. He'll come off the bench, he'll get you a goal. So he's not one of those players that you need to kind of rely on being a starter, because he just tends to rack up points all the time. So he's one of those guys that you could pick. And there's several others, like you could really look at kind of James Rodriguez now, bringing him into your midfield.
Yeah.
Obviously go for the De Bruyne and Sterling options, but then you may have to lose a Salah or someone like that, one of the premiums, or Aubameyang. So there's guys around the 12 million mark. That's the choice really. And I'm going to wait until my wild card is in use again, and then I can do 2 or 3 really big swaps and kind of have a little bit of a revamp of maybe 6 players in one go.
Oh, well, yeah, you mentioned Sterling there briefly. I saw on the official FPL page, they were kind of, bigging up Sterling I suppose he is a differential at the moment because not many people have got him. He is currently playing in strike. Is that something that, might sway you into getting Sterling, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I think Sterling's going to play through the middle this year. I've said that already. So I think because of Aguero's injuries, and obviously now Jesus has had injuries as well, they're really light in terms of playing as a number 9. And Sterling, in the season that he had all those points a year before last, he was playing mainly through the middle. So I think he'll do more of that this year. He'll be more of a number 9, but of course he'll be a midfielder for FPL. And that means he's going to rack up tons of points. So I might even lean towards getting Sterling this year than De Bruyne. I had De Bruyne for the whole of last season, and he obviously came up with, over 200 points or whatever it was in the end of the season.
Yeah.
But I think Sterling might be the guy this year who's a little bit cheaper as well. Might be able to save you a few pennies, means you could get someone as an upgrade on your bench, and Sterling might be the guy to go for.
Yeah, Coach, what are your thoughts regarding, obviously, the Man City players? Like Rob's already alluded to, he's kind of waiting to see what happens with Man City players. They're kind of late into that. Is that something you're looking at all, or are you looking elsewhere?
I've looked elsewhere because with City, everyone knows that Pep loves rotation.
Yeah,
he's the modern day Ranieri of tinkering, isn't it? So, I don't really rely upon him, because I remember I tried to do it last year and he benched KDB out of nowhere, the bastard. So
that honestly, I remember that because I bloody captained in that flipping week.
He's a bastard. So no, I've gone down to Merseyside, red and blue.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing both sides. I got 3 from both sides. I bought Vardy back in.
He's gonna be lads. All right, who's Vardy playing against? Let me have a double check.
They got West Ham. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
It's an interesting time to play West Ham.
So West Ham did smack Wolves 4-0 last week. So
that's my next question.
So that's what I've gone anyway.
Interesting. And Joe, over to yourself regarding players in particular. Is there anyone that you're looking at thinking, is worth a punt at all? Obviously
Let's be honest. Anyone who has taken a penalty, you need to go for. But I've never seen, there's been, I think, at least 3 games where there's been 2 penalties or more this season, which is absolute fucking madness. So, you just put set piece player, put penalty players in your team, and that's just the way to go, because I don't know if they can change the rule in the middle of the season, but that, there was going to be at least 5 penalties this weekend. At least.
Man United again 3. That's what
just to get Mourinho at least. But the thing is, I regret not putting Jamie Vardy in. I kind of figured this would be a season where he stopped, but then like I said with the penalties, just get him in there, because he scores every one of them. He's Leicester's linchpin. So if you don't have him in, I don't have him in my team at the moment. I'm going to get him in the next couple of weeks, I'd say. But get him in. 100%, because he doesn't miss and he plays every game, and everything is through him. Yeah,
no, I think regarding the penalty thing, I think that's definitely the biggest shout at the moment, because I know it sounds so obvious, but most of my players, quite a lot of my players are penalty takers. I think Wass's put a comment and say he's bought Rashford in for Greenwood. Greenwood's going to score this week. That means that's why I wouldn't faff about with them 2 players. It's either or, for wingers in particular. I know, Rob, you've got Mane and Salah, and you made the point saying, well, one's going to score 1 week, one's going to assist, as they did against Arsenal, obviously.
Yeah,
Salah
that's
got
a great
assist, and Mane got the goal, and I was like, flip there, Rob's got points for both there. And that's going to be a consistent theme throughout the season. But there's 2 fixtures, right? I want to look at, and I'm going to pass on to you guys. And I think these two, I know, Rob, you don't personally do this, but this is how I normally play. I look at fixtures, and I can't dismiss, right? Wolves against Fulham at home, and Southampton against West Brom. Southampton at home. And West Brom can't defend.
Yeah.
We know Fulham definitely can't defend.
Yeah.
I haven't really got Wolves playing my team, and I've got 2 Southampton players. I haven't got Danny Ings in my team. Is it worth taking the punt? Because Danny Ings could bag a hat-trick quite easily against West Brom, and what's to say Jimenez is not going to score another header against Fulham because they can't defend. Rob, what are your thoughts, mate? Is it worth a punt, or I know you're personally going to say you're not going to do it, but would you think is it worth the punt?
First player on my team sheet for the last 12 months has been Danny Ings. So he's in my team. I believe in him. I believe what you're saying. Danny Ings is in my team. He's always in my front three, and he's probably the one player out of all of them that I wouldn't sell, even ahead of Salah and Mane. Why? Because he's the only person at Southampton who really does score every week. Southampton are going to have a decent season. So, I think he could score a hat-trick. What I'll say about Wolves is I haven't got any Wolves players. Last week, lots of people went Wolves heavy, thinking that they were going to be back in it now and all of this. And what did they lose? 4-0? Was it 4-0 they lost?
I didn't go Wolves heavy, but I was expecting them to win.
Yeah, so what it is now, because the Wolves are in, say, maybe year 2 or 3 of being all right and good, there's not many bargains in their team left anymore. So I think when you're going in with a Wolves player, they're premium, but do they really give you premium feedback every week? Do you get you do from Jimenez? But, Adama, you don't really... You do from one or two of the defenders when they're playing well. Bolly has, but obviously 4-0 last week, so that's a nightmare. Yeah. And no real midfielders that kind of give you top-end points. Matinho, Neves and all that. So Wolves I'm staying away from because I think they're one of those teams that might win games 1-0 every week.
I've got one for you, Rob. I've got one for you for a shout out. I haven't got the prize up in front of me, so I do apologise. But is it Podence? Is that his name?
Podence, yeah. Yeah, he's the obvious one.
He's a player. Yeah. He's a player. I'd be very impressed.
He's kind of going to get more minutes, obviously, this year because they've obviously sold. Sold a player off earlier in the season. But I don't know with Wolves. I think they're one of those teams that might be a bit cold this year. They might have a season where they may be outside the top 10 because it's going to be so bunched. And I always look at the team rather than the player. So if the team is doing well, like Everton, as we've talked about, then I think you can go 2 or 3 players for Everton and try and mix it up, and you'll get returns. But no, for me, Danny Ings, he's steadfast. He's more expensive this year. Last year he was so cheap, and he just scored every
6.5 or something.
Every week I'd get 6, 7, 8 points from him, and just it's the easiest points in the world. So if you've got a number 9 like that who scores, a bit like Vardy, Vardy is going to score even if that's rubbish. Because he's the only one who's really got it in him to score. And he started pretty well, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, the thing is, I could potentially... I've got Harry Kane in my team. Obviously, he's playing against Man United. I could potentially sell Kane, but I have to take 4 points off. I don't know what to do. Because I think Ings could potentially bag a hat-trick. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd never have Harry Kane in. Why? Because he's too expensive. Now, he did the other week get 4 assists or something crazy, but that's not normal for him. And you do know he can score multiple goals. But I think at Tottenham, if you're going to choose one player through the season, it would be Son.
Oh, yeah, well, that's why.
Or Gareth Bale now. So Bale is going to be a FPL differential in weeks to come.
I think Bale's now been cheap for him.
I think Bale's going to play through the middle as well more. I don't think Bale's going to be wide left, being Gareth Bale of the old Tottenham way of number 3 bombing on. He's going to be there to score goals this year. And
but Rob, he's only going to play 5 games and then get injured.
Yeah. Well, you see, this is the thing. Yeah, so he might be a guy who's not your number 1 guy, like you're saying Kane's your number 1 guy. But I think there's other strikers that you could have ahead of Kane, like Ings at a cheaper price. Even like now at the moment, Mitrovic, Bamford, those kind of players who were maybe scoring earlier in the season, so you go with. Whereas Harry Kane, if he's red hot, then you stick with him. But you can put that money in a midfielder who'll probably get you more points.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna obviously I don't know. I'll come back to it. Basically, I'm conflicted. Okay, I'm conflicted.
Don't tinker. Yeah, keep him then.
I've already sold one player, so I don't want to be getting the theme of wasting points. Watson said, "This is an absolute shock, by the way." Watson sold Anthony Martial for Jimenez. Right, obviously, I know why he's got Jimenez, but what's selling him Man United?
What? What's selling Martial?
I know of all players, what's Martial? So that means Martial scoring against Spurs is confirmed.
I don't think that's a bad move. I don't think it's a bad move.
It's a
Never
very
do
good
I.
move, but I'm just shocked that he's done it of all people.
Yeah, of all people.
All right, Cody, we'll come to you. Obviously, there's a couple other fixtures. You know, the Everton against Brighton, Chelsea got Crystal Palace. I'm just reading out fixtures I think, you know, are easier for the one team. I'm not going through all of them. Leicester got West Ham. I don't know if that's easier for West Ham or Leicester at the moment. Arsenal got Sheffield United. Sheffield United not doing well. Good signing for him. With Brewster, which is actually my potential pick because he's 5.5 million or something along those lines.
Yeah,
4.5.
Is he 4.5?
Yeah.
That's a good
I
shout.
was going to mention him later. I was going to mention him later.
Don't worry, Rob. I'm the Sheffield United fan. I know. I know, but I was like, yo, if we get, I was about to say if they get Brewster, I'm gonna get killed. I know. But if they get a Brewster, then I'm like, you know what? 4.5 million. He's gonna get all the chances. They do create chances, but they haven't got a goal scorer. And I'm thinking for 4.5, I could just hypothetically speaking, if I sell Kane for Brewster, I'm saving 5 million.
Yeah, I've already marked him in for my wild card pick. I've already. He's in. He's in. Brewster's in.
I'm saving 6 million.
Brewster's in. Brewster's in because he's going to score goals this year, and at his price, you can't. Even if he was your third striker, you could then really go heavy on your two strikers and have him at 4.5, and he'll be like Greenwood last year. Brewster's going to get. Brewster could get 15 goals easy this year with his eyes closed, and then people will be going, jump in on him early. I think he could be a huge success this year.
100%. And also the last game that I haven't mentioned, I should have mentioned it earlier. Liverpool got Aston Villa.
Yeah.
I mentioned that. Why have I not noticed that?
Yeah.
I've not noticed that. I've not been Captain Salah.
I have Captain Salah.
We'll touch on that shortly. Right. Cody, we'll come to you first and foremost from the fixtures that I've mentioned. Is there anyone that you contemplate bringing into your team, or are you staying put as well?
I done all my changes today, brother. I done everything this morning.
Tell us.
So I've brought Trent straight in. I've brought Salah straight in. I've brought Jota straight in. Jota's gonna come off the bench and bang one in as well. Yeah. Jota off the bench. Yeah. Don't worry about him.
I hear you, but I just don't know why you'd buy him. But
because he was cheap as well. It was an easy option. And then I've gone for
how much is it? I didn't check.
Jota was 6.3.
Okay.
So that was quick and easy. And then I've got Digne because he's been in my team since the jump anyway, so that's not a problem.
Okay.
James Rodriguez has been in my team since the beginning as well. And I had to bring in Calvert-Lewin. It's Brighton. I think he's just going to step in.
Have you wildcarded?
No. Oh, yeah. No, I did, yeah. But 7.5.
Okay, I was about to say, bloody hell.
I've made loads of changes, man, because I was angry. I was just very angry. So when I get emotional, I just make all the changes.
That's me, man. I need to not look at my phone when I'm like that.
But my front three is Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, and I think we're going to get the customary 2 goals a season from Shane Long this weekend.
Yes!
All right, Joe. The Irish contingent, God.
Yes,
right.
There was there.
Joe, go through your team. Obviously, if there's anyone that you think that you potentially might be looking at based on the fixtures alone, if there's anyone you think that's worth a shout, obviously give them a mention. So
to be honest, like I have a feeling I'm going to do quite well this week. I have Schmeichel in goals. I think Leicester will do West Ham because West Ham still are shit, even though they bet Wolves. I've got 2 at the back from Liverpool. I got Van Dijk and Trent.
So Grealish goal, please. Fingers crossed. Come on.
No, it's not happening, especially not from that. I think again I'm going to be let down because obviously United are going to beat Spurs. I have Doherty at the back and Usmaan.
Did you just wait? Whoa! I'm not just going to scare over that comment.
What?
You said I'm going to be let down because Man United are going to beat Spurs.
Yeah, in a good. No, but I meant that in a good way.
But the way you said it is like,
no.
My clean sheet's gone down, you might.
Yeah, but it's fine. I said I'm going to be let down because obviously United are going to win because obviously we're going to win.
Hopefully, Man United win 5-1 and Doherty's there. You happy?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Usmaan, and thank you, Usmaan, for learning how to say Doherty properly as well.
Oh, is that you said? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no, because I educated
No,
yourself on the in a week, and
I'm not to say anyway, but I can read my story. Anyways, go carry on.
And I got Tierney. I'm doing forward the back at the moment. I got Tierney. I got a lot of assists back there, and Tierney's going to have a great season this season if he keeps fit.
Yeah.
Midfield, I brought in Havertz for Son, which gives me 0.5 million as well left over. I've Salah, Aubameyang, Dendonker. Richarlison, who I only found out has a 75% chance of playing right now against.
Really?
Yeah, apparently that's there. And then Bamford against City. So like most of my team are playing clubs lower than them, so I feel like I should do well this week. I mean, and I think Bamford probably will score against City, but it'll be probably a 5-1 loss. So that'll do me anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of feeling good across the board, if I'm being honest.
Well, hopefully Bamford scores at least a couple and gets you the W in it. That's what we're hoping for. Even though I haven't got him in my team. Rob, what is your team looking like? Obviously, have you made I'm assuming you've not made any changes because you said you hadn't.
Not much. I'm just tweaking really what I've already got. So my two goalkeepers are McCarthy and Ryan, and every week I've chosen the wrong one. So the one I picked got 2 points, and then the other one got 6 every week. So this week I'm choosing McCarthy because they're playing West Brom. So fingers crossed, looking for a clean sheet. Trent is another perennial in my team for the last 2 years. He doesn't go out. He stays every week. Got 7 points last week. So Trent at the back with Dunn at Burnley, the young lad who's starting, 4 million quid. So it's a kind of cheap route into a defence that normally gets points. And also my third defender this week playing 3-4-3 is Holden at Arsenal. So I've had him in my team as a kind of cheap option at 4.5 million. Again, just a route into a team that you think might get some clean sheets early on.
Yeah.
And in my midfield, Mane and Salah, my captain and my vice captain. Again, throw it either way. Salah's my captain this week. Keeping Havertz because they're playing at home to Palace. Palace have started well, but Havertz is due a goal at least in his first few games. He scored a hat trick, obviously, in the cup before. And my other player, other midfielder who I'm kind of taking a punt with is Westwood at Burnley. And the reason for that is he got 118 points last year.
He always gets points, him.
2 goals and 7 assists last season, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add it up in fantasy league terms with all the extra bits of man of the match performances and whatever, he's just signed a new contract with Burnley, so there's a big buzz about him there, and he's the captain now. So I've put him in because he can score goals. So he's my extra midfielder, but my attack, being what it is since day one at the moment, Danny Ings, sticking with Mitrovic for now, but I think that's probably going to end up being Brewster quite soon. And sticking with Werner for now. Frank keeps playing, Werner wide left.
If he keeps
doing that, I'll be rigging Chelsea and telling him that I'm selling Werner and I don't want him anymore. I don't want any wide left player who says he's a number 9. It's not happening. But I think they've got to kind of get off the mark soon, the two German lads, and I reckon Palace are one they should have started well, but they've got to have one bad week sooner rather than later. So, those two Chelsea lads are going to hopefully do the business for me this week. Of course, I'd rather they lost 10-0.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Was it 10-2 to give you a goal assist?
9-0. 9-0.
Right, okay, so I've got McCarthy in there, mainly because the other goalkeeper hasn't got hands. I've gone for 3-4-3 again. I got I don't know how to pronounce his name. Vinagre from Wolves. He's 4.5 million. He's got Fulham at home. If he does not get a clean sheet at this game, he's getting sold. Like, he gets out the door. Anyway, Mitrovic's going to bag a hat-trick now, isn't he? I got Kyle Walker-Peters. My defense is just cheap, basically. Justin, all 4.5 million each is what it is. Justin's bagged the goal, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He's got West Ham. Midfield, I've had to sell Son. He was short on Son. I've had it for 2 weeks. Both the weeks that he's blanks. Oh, you love to see it. I bought in Rodriguez. I had to. Well, who else can I buy really for that money? I've got 1.3 million in the bank, so that's decent. I've got Salah, Zaha, because he loves a goal against Chelsea. He's probably scored and get assists. And obviously Bruno, because we're definitely getting a penalty against Spurs. And I can't sell him at the moment. Up front, strike force of Calvert, Lewin, who I've had from the start. Harry Kane, that you guys have kind of made me think about selling for Danny Ings potentially. I might just sell it for Danny Ings. I'm so tempted to do it. And then Timo Werner, exactly what you said, Rob.
No, not when we're going to play United. Keep him just in case. Now you'll sell him. He'll get 7 goals or something record or something like that.
I know exactly.
And we'll all blame you on the next podcast.
It's very true. If I keep him, he might get injured in the first 25 minutes. There's a strong chance.
Captain him, keep him.
I'm
buy Tottenham players
as we speak. That is true. I've just bought in the goalkeeper as well, so hopefully he has an absolute worldie. So Timo Werner, again, completely agree with you, Rob. He's just pissing me off. Like, can you score some goals, mate? But score some goals. Like, lose the game 3-2 or something.
He's hit the post a few times, so he's hitting the target nearly.
Hit the bar. I don't know how.
I saw that.
It was unfortunate. That was against West Brom, wasn't it? But obviously, it is what it is. So that's my team. I think my main debate this week, for me personally, is the captaincy, because I completely forgot. Yeah. Salah's got Aston Villa. And I'll just start with mine. I've captained Dominic Calvert-Lewin because he just bagged the hat-trick. Yeah. He's at home to Brighton. They're just bagging goals for fun at the moment. Obviously, the other shout would be Salah. Potentially, I haven't really got anyone else in my team that you would think about captain. I suppose Werner, but there's no way I'm going to captain Werner over Calvert-Lewin. Kojo, who's your captain? I feel like you've gone for the same one.
It's DCL. My vice is Salah. So
that's exactly what I've got.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it should be. But then I am tempted to change it to Vardy because West Ham defense is trash. So
he does love a goal against West Ham, though. He does love a goal against West Ham.
He does love a goal against West Ham. It's like Lukaku used to do it against West Ham as well. They just get bullied. So I'm hoping. You know what? In fact, let's make that change right now.
Oh my God. And while he's making that change, Joe, who are you going for captain?
Yeah, I got Salah and Vice as Aubameyang.
I know. I've forgotten about Aubameyang.
Yeah,
he's really ridiculous. I've got him down for Golden Boot this season as well, actually. So that's a bit of a contradictory thing for me not to have him in my team at all. But Rob, who have you gone for captain? I think you mentioned
Salah for me and Mane's vice captain. So that it's Liverpool, isn't it? The same players get the same points every week, over and over again. There's never any surprises. There's never extra players. You don't get an Origi popping in with a hat trick. It's just the same players every week who score points for Liverpool.
Yeah, no, to be fair, you've got
like clockwork.
You've got them both. I've always had one or the other, and I'm always like, which one got the assist, which one got the goal? I know what. Now that you mentioned it, I was like, why didn't I just do that? It just would have made so much more sense. But when a sell came for Brewster, I'm going to save $6 million on that deal. And then, boys, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back. I'm telling you.
Calm down, Usmaan.
God. I'm telling you, $6 million to spend. Zaha's coming out of that team. And I don't know who I'm going to sign yet. We'll have to
Messi.
I might get Messi. Rob, luckily for you, you wasn't here when we were doing the predictions. Joe, his prediction for the season. No, when we do prediction for who's going to get the most points. Joe had Messi down as the most points because he was adamant Man City was going to sign him. So it is what it is.
But January is only around the corner, okay?
To be fair, if you just signed in January, you still would be in contention.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
So the last question for the show is, who do you think is going to get the most points this week? I'll try to get it up. We got it last week. I'm assuming it was, I don't even know, back to goals. Oh, it must have been Vardy, I would imagine. We'll come with you, Kojo, first. Is there anyone you think, looking at the fixtures, looking at the situation, who do you think is going to be top scorer? It was Jamie Vardy with 17. Bowen got 15, by the way. We've not mentioned West Ham at all, actually.
Oh, yeah, but, West Ham are so up and down.
I'm not saying it like that, but yeah.
I've
got to give you a bit of respect to the job, our boy, listening and all that.
Yeah, man, Dan. Exactly. You know what? I'm going to give it to... Yeah, I'm going to keep it... I think it's going to be DCL this weekend, man. I really think he's going to slap another couple of goals in.
Can I just say one thing? Just before you continue. You've just taken him off captaincy. You think he's...
I know. Listen. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this 5 times tonight. So, let me... Trust me. At some point, it's probably going to be flipping Digne that's my captain. I don't know. I just flip-flop. But... I'm going to go DCL. So let me just grab my phone and do this again.
All right, I'm expecting him to be a captain if that's your thoughts. Joe, what do you reckon? Who do you think?
I think it'll be Jimenez.
He doesn't really score a lot. Oh, there we go. He doesn't
No.
really score a lot, Rob. Is that just me? He doesn't seem to like. He'll be consistent in points. He'll get a goal and maybe bonus points, but he doesn't normally get braces, does he? Or what you
Patches. Some patches.
The stats say Jimenez is is a top 5 striker. So even though he might only get 1 goal in a game or sometimes get a brace, but it's the weekly point total to the end of the season, and he just keeps going. He'll just get an odd goal here and there and get you nice points. I don't know if he's like a captain option, but I don't know. But he will get. He's one of those players that you can just keep in your team and not have to think too much about.
I just have a feeling that they're playing Fulham, and Fulham are so bad, and Wolves were done during the week that they'll want to get some sort of grace back. That I think he'll bag at least 2 goals and maybe an assist as well. So I think he'll be high up. Very high up.
Oh wow! If he does that, that'd be sick for you. Hopefully he doesn't do it. Rob, Rob, who do you reckon? Who do you think is going to be standout? Which individual players? What do you reckon?
Well, Salah's my captain, so I think for me, I think he could obviously score Villa, obviously, but I think Mane will probably then get a hat trick if he's not my captain. But
it's
I think
so annoying, isn't it? It's so
it's the same thing every week. There's no logic behind that. But I think that could be a big week for Trent, because he scored some points last week. Against Villa, that Villa defence. Clean sheet, a goal and an assist. That would be a 20-point week almost. And double him up as a captain, that would be 40 points from your fullback. That's I like that. So I'm not doing it. So
watch them concede. Hopefully Trent.
But Villa, I don't know if Barkley's starting, and I think Barkley in the weeks to come is going to be one of my tips. He's 5.5 million or something.
Is he? Wow.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be like their primary goal scorer at some points because going to Villa, he's going there to score goals. He's not going there to sit in midfield. He's going there to be a number 10. So I think him and Grealish.
Good shout.
He'd be a cheaper option than Grealish into that Aston Villa team.
Yeah, no, there's a few obviously with Bruce as well. Like you said, saving wildcard, obviously what the situation is. For me personally, I've got to be honest, I'm torn between 2 players. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, obviously my captain for a reason. I think he's going to probably get at least a goal, probably. But I think I've got a feeling because Leeds, right, they can't defend. Like they can go forward brilliantly, right?
Yeah.
And they're fantastic to watch. And Man City are going to bounce back. I think Sterling's going to be the guy this week. I just got a feeling it's the time when Sterling bags a brace and people are like, oh, Man City are back. He just gets a tapping back stick. He loves it. Probably a brace or a hat trick. So I think obviously I can't afford him, but I can see Sterling because he's playing down the middle. Man City is surely going to step up this. They need to win this game after last week. So I'm going to say Sterling. No one's got him, so it doesn't really make a difference to the league whatsoever. So I don't really care if he scores, to be honest. But yeah, I'm going to say Sterling for me. But obviously, as you know, I've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin as captain. Anyways, that has been your show, your tips, your tricks from the best in the business. Obviously not me because I'm doing shit at the moment. Ignore what I say. But make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I'm just waiting for Jesse Lingard to come good. To be honest, that purple patch when he turns into Messi again. Look at these 2 idiots here. But anyways, ignore them. Obviously, it is what it is. Rob is on what the flip of us hand up for. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Show love to everyone. Their socials are down below. Coaches is on the screen, which is 3 in midfield. They've got a podcast. Show them love. Obviously, Joe's and Rob's are in the description. Anyways, apart from that, it's been your host, Usmaan. Hopefully, you all have a shit week apart from me. Peace.